Good evening, folks. This is Wesley, Virgin here. Hey, welcome to another Millionaire Midnight Rant, folks. I'm your host, your favorite millionaire here. And go ahead and comment your names below. And let me give you a shout out here, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Oh, my God. Okay. Hey, folks. What's going on? Welcome to the podcast. Where I give you guys the opportunity to... Hey, Dom, how are you? Ariella. Alexa, how are you? So, folks, go ahead and comment your names here below. I am calling you, or I'm live from my bedroom here, and I go live just to give you folks the opportunity to pick my brain and give you the opportunity to have a conversation with a multimillionaire here. You know, tonight, I want to do a Q&A, but I want to talk about leadership, honestly, okay? I want to talk about leadership. Enola, how are you? We got Glad from Norway, how are you? We have Roger, Gray, and Pierre, how are you, sir? You know, I want to talk about leadership. And I want to share with you the prerequisites of being a great leader. And it could be a leader of a team, it could be a leader of a company, leader of your family, leadership from a parent standpoint as well. And I want to talk about how to be the type of leader that that people admire, people look up to, or the type of leader that's effective. Understand this about leadership. Let me see if I can explain this stupid simple here tonight. Leadership, or a great leader, or an effective leader, is a person that can enable or persuade people to get them to move or to act or to behave in a way that it benefits them and the person that they're talking with or the people that they're leading. Okay? That's what leadership is. It's basically being able to get people to move, to act, to behave in a way that it benefit both parties. And this is very important within a company. This is important in a relationship. Men, it's important even in a family orientation as well. And so what I want to do is kind of give you some of the techniques or maybe the methods that you can utilize to become a better leader. How many of you lead something right now? Like, some of you are leaders of your company, let me know. Some of you are the leader in your family, or maybe you're the leader in your friend group. Maybe you play sports. I don't know. So let me give you some, or maybe you're a future leader, right? Maybe say, you know what, I'm tired of being a follower and I want to be a leader and I want to learn how to lead. Another thing, lead is not control, by the way. Okay? Like, leadership is not trying to control people and trying to make people do something. Hey, you do this, and I'm the boss, and I'm the man, I'm the manager, I'm the supervisor, I'm the better, I'm the person. No. That's not leadership. Leadership is not control. And I want you to write this down, please, folks. Leadership is compassion. Leadership is being able to empathize. Leadership is learning how to build relationships with people, even when they're difficult. Leadership is being a great listener. Leadership is letting people talk, even if they talk for 30 or 40 minutes, but just remaining quiet and letting a person express themselves. Leadership is acting exactly how you want the people that you're leading to act. Okay? Like if you want your people to be on time, say if you have a company and you want your employees to be on time, you'll be on time. If you want your employees to perform well, you perform well. You want your people to have a high work ethic, you have to have a high work ethic. If you want your child to be more motivated, more enthusiastic about life, you need to be motivated. You need to be enthusiastic about life. If you want your child to, be more active, work out more, maybe go to the gym, well, you need to do the same thing as well. One thing about people that I want you guys to learn and understand is, and I think we all know this, if you have a child, I have 3 children, so I get it. The people that you lead, they don't pay attention to what you say. They do, but they pay more attention to what you do. Okay? Like how you behave, how you act, your attitude. This is what influences people. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Okay? It's very interesting. Everybody wants to be a leader. Deep down inside, people want to be the leader and the boss and the CEO and have all the power. Of course. Yet people's definition of leadership, in my opinion, is a bit jaded. Because people want to be in control. People want to sit back and, do nothing and relax while other people are doing this and they're doing this and you're just the one in power. But that's not leadership at all, folks. Leadership is understanding that if I want another person to act a certain way, I need to demonstrate that behavior first. If I want a person to do something for me, I need to make sure that it benefits them and me as well, and we both agree to that. As a matter of fact, leadership is difficult. Okay? Leadership is not easy. Being a CEO, it's not easy. Everybody wants to be a CEO and you want to be the boss, because you want to tell people what to do because, deep inside of all of us, we like to have power over people. We want to feel respected. We want to feel feared and, oh, hey, you know who that is? Everybody, and it all comes down to wanting to be significant. Everybody wants to feel very important. But if you want to be an excellent leader, listen, I think I'm a pretty great leader and I'm getting better day by day and I'm learning always. I don't know everything. I'm always learning from the people that I lead. I'm a CEO of a few companies and I'm learning at the same time that I'm disseminating information and teaching my people and mentoring them as well. But if you want to be a great leader, and you may say, well, how do I know if I'm a great leader or not? Well, what do your people say about you when they're not around you? Like if you have a team or even a family, right? Your children, what do they say about you when they're not around you? What do your employees say when they're not around you? Okay? So, somebody just asked, how do I become a wiser leader, Wesley? Leadership is not about being wise, Like I said before, leadership, to me, the most important trait of leadership is just compassion, honestly, just empathize. Even I've learned that over the years. Because one thing about me, I'm a high performer type of person. I've just always been like this. Like, I want to work all day. I want to take things to the next level. Even when I had a job, believe it or not, I used to have a job back in the day, right? And when I would work for my boss, I will always want to impress my boss. Always. Like my boss didn't have to tell me to be there early. I got there early because I wanted to be there early. My boss didn't have to tell me to write a report. I would just do it. As a matter of fact, my boss didn't have to tell me to do anything. I will always over deliver. And let me tell you why I was like that, because I enjoyed the praise, right? I enjoyed the, oh, wow, you did this too? Man, you're amazing, Wes. You're excellent. Like, I love the compliments. I love when the boss or the manager or the supervisor said, oh, man, whew, wow, this is amazing, Wesley. Like, I love the positive feedback. So I naturally always over-delivered, even when I had a job. So then that translated into business. So it was almost inevitable for me to be very successful, because that's how I am in business. Like, I just work and work and work. But to be very honest, it's nobody to impress but myself. But the work ethic has always been there when I had a job. Like, I didn't slack. Like, I wasn't the type of person to slack off, especially something that I wanted to do. I didn't half-ass things. I gave it my all. And then when you thought I was giving it my all, I would give you a little bit more. Okay? So, my point is, to all of you, or to the young man that wants to become a great leader, you got to be a leader yourself. Many of you, I know some of you run companies, some of you haven't, you don't run companies yet, but you can't lead other people until you can lead yourself. And to lead yourself, you have to go deep within yourself. Let me explain this. Let me break this down. I think all of us have some type of insecurities, right? We all do. Even the ones we don't talk about. We have things and fears and doubts and childhood traumas. I get it. But a leader is a man or a woman that can tell themselves, I got to do this. Even though I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm unsure, I'm doubtful, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because how can I ask anybody else to do something if I can't lead myself? Like, how can you lead other people when you can't lead yourself? Think about that for a second. Leading yourself may be just going to the gym every day. You tell yourself, I'm going to the gym today, and you don't do it. Or you tell yourself, you know what, today I'm going to be more positive. I'm not going to speak negative. I'm not going to use any type of negative words. And you do it. Leading yourself and say, you know what, even though I'm going through some things right now in my life that I'm not happy about, I'm going to choose to be enthusiastic, and I'm going to choose to be optimistic about it. See, that's leading yourself, telling yourself what needs to be done. Even if you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway. Those are leaders. Leaders can see the vision when everybody else cannot. See, within a company, let's talk about companies here. Whenever you're building a company and you start to hire people and start to bring people on board, if the company looks like it's failing, it's up to the leader to convince and persuade that it's not. The company can be failing, the company can be losing money for years, right? But as long as the leader communicates to the employees that, listen, hey, this is not a setback. This is a preparation. We're being prepared for something great. Then the employers, they'll see it the way that the CEO sees it. That's the job of the CEO, by the way. That's the job of the leader. The leader has to be able to see things in their people. Like, they need to be able to see the confidence in their people. They need to be able to see the skill in their people. They need to be able to encourage their people's dreams. They need to be able to understand their people. They need to understand what motivates their people, what drives them, what makes them just go to the next level. These are the traits that the leaders must have. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? So to become a great leader of people, you must first lead yourself. Okay? You got to lead yourself. You got to be able to tell yourself what needs to be done. You do it. And you have to be able to lead yourself in private. When no one's watching, when no one's looking at you, when only you can hear your own excuses. Okay? Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, are you taking notes? You should be. Like everybody on here should be taking notes. Why? Because one day you will be a leader. Some of you are already leading somebody, even if you're a parent. This is very applicable to parents. If you have a child, you're leading your child. But how do you lead a child if you're not leading yourself? How do you expect your child to be enthusiastic and have ambition if you have done? Leadership starts with you. Okay? Any questions for me, folks? Let me know if you're taking notes. Christina, how are you? Corona, how are you? Yasmin, how are you? Yeah, you have to lead yourself. And leading yourself is very personal because, all of you know, and let's be honest. Can we all be honest here? Every one of you know there is something that you're not doing that you should do. And if you decide to do it, it will benefit you. Everybody here. Everybody that's listening to my voice, there's something in your life that you're not doing that you know that you should do because it will only increase your quality of life. So start there. Start by telling yourself, you know what, I'm going to do it tomorrow, every day. I'm going to commit to this thing, whatever that thing is. I've been lazy. I've been a bit lethargic. I've been making excuses. I'm going to commit to it. And if you actually follow through, then that's leading yourself. Okay? Questions? How do you remain consistent in breaking a habit? Well, whatever habit that you're trying to break, my question is, what habit would you like to replace the old habit with? Like, you don't need to consistently break a habit. A habit needs to be broken one time, but more importantly, it needs to be replaced with something else. So my question to you is, whatever bad habit or vice that you have, what are you willing to replace it with? Okay. Yeah, lucky Christian, how are you? And folks, I really want you to think about those words. You really think about that. Especially when it comes to leadership, just think about it for a second. Ask yourself, say, you know what? Do I lead myself properly? Like, when I tell myself that something needs to be done, or when I say I'm going to do something, do I usually do it? Are there things that I'm neglecting and deflecting and not choosing to do and using justifiable excuses? Like, this is the conversation you must have with yourself. Because let me tell you something. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead other people. You're not going to lead them. Not for long. Okay. You may lead them momentarily, but long term, it's not going to work. Another thing when it comes to leadership, the people that follow you, they must see that you are evolving, which means you have to make progress in the eyes of the people who are following you. They need to see progress. Period. Right? Progress. But you know what's what's interesting? The most important thing, or the most important component of leadership, it's not progress. It's not intelligence. It's not power. You know what it is? It's going to blow your mind. It's enthusiasm. That is the most powerful component of leadership. Enthusiasm. Like a person that's willing to always be enthusiastic, regardless of what's happening in life, in business, in their family, and they can remain always optimistic and enthusiastic. It's powerful. People are gonna listen to you because they're gonna think that you're different, and then they're gonna want to be like you. A lot of you ask me all the time, Wesley, how are you able to be enthusiastic in a storm? How can you be so motivated all the time, Wes? I don't get it. Like all the time? Right? People become intrigued. And when people become intrigued, when they meet a person like that, they tend to listen to these people because they want to know what makes this person tick. They tend to really just listen deeply to everything this person says because they want to understand, well, what does that person have that I don't? And how can I get it? It's leadership. Does that make sense, folks? Next question for me here. And folks, go ahead and hit the like and share button as well, because it's getting deep here tonight. You know, I like when we go deeper. I like when we talk about topics like this. You know, I like talking about money, of course, but I love when we can internalize things and find ways to evolve. Find opportunities in our life that we can build more skill or to perfect or to elevate in. And sometimes we have to have conversations about this, about even leadership. And not just leading other people, but leading ourselves. Okay? Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? I don't see the comments below, folks. Come on. I need to see some questions and comments here below right now. Like I'm doing this for you. This is your opportunity right here. This is your opportunity to have a conversation or some dialogue with a man that's living his dreams, because I'm sure that you want to live your dreams. Okay. And to be able to live your dreams, you got to conquer doubt and fear. A man who can conquer doubt and fear will never fail. Never. If you can conquer doubt and fear, you'll never fail. And that's why I want you to be. Because then you will become impervious to almost anything. Nothing will affect you, negatively. It won't bother you. Okay? Next question for me. Are you getting value, folks? Or are you just sitting there listening to my voice? If you're getting value, comment the word value below. I just want to know if you're learning, and I want to know if you're listening. Okay. How would you go about starting a solo podcast, just like I'm doing right here? I mean, this is a podcast. It's solo. It's a dark screen, but it's my podcast. You just start recording videos and upload it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. That's it. Wes, are we God? Yeah. Absolutely. You are a god, goddess. You may say, Wesley, can you prove that? Well, here's my thoughts. You know, when you think about God, the God that's in the Bible, what did God do? God is a creator, right? According to the Bible. So if God is a creator, that's exactly what we do. Every day of your life. You know, believe it or not, every day of your life. Some of you not, you don't pay attention, but every day of your life, you are a creator, man. You're creating something with the words that you're saying. I was having a conversation with a person earlier, and they said, oh, Wesley, this is my worst nightmare. And I'm like, your worst nightmare? See, we don't pay attention to how we use words because, unfortunately, our emotions overwhelms our logic. Like when we feel something and we think about something and it's an emotionally charged event, that becomes very real to us. And if it becomes real to us, that starts and begins the process of creation. That means that whatever you are emotionally charged about or thinking about or afraid of or pissed out about or angry about, where you're beginning to create that in your future, more of that. If you have a fear of leaving your job, I say, oh no, I can't leave my job. No, hell no, I can't do that. I got to pay bills. I'm not going to be broke again. I left my job before and I lost everything. Then you're not going to leave your job ever. Why? Not because you can't leave your job, not because you can't become successful. It's because you created it. You thought about it and you spoke it and you created the narrative on why you just can't do it. And you only can't do it because of the fear. When the person told me tonight, when they said, oh, this is my biggest nightmare. That's a story that they're telling themselves. But they don't realize it because, listen, one thing about a story, if I tell you a story right now, you're just going to listen to it, right? You're not going to judge it. You're not going to say, oh, he's bullshitting. He's not telling me the truth. You're just going to listen to the story. You're going to take it in. Listen, this is important. Whenever you tell a story to somebody else or tell a story to yourself, your beliefs are suspended. There's a suspension of beliefs, which means is all your beliefs go out the door. If I start telling you, hey, God, let me tell you what happened yesterday. So yesterday I got up in the morning and I had breakfast. I got in my car and somebody pulled me over. They pulled me out of the car. It was a police officer. Like if I start telling that story, you're just believing everything. You're not even thinking that, oh, is that story true? No. So this is exactly what happens when someone says, oh, this is my biggest fear. This is my biggest nightmare. Oh my God, I just can't do this because you don't understand this. Like it's just a story. And that story that they're telling us that is so real to them. But they don't realize it's just a story. It's not actually real. It's only real to them because that's how they're telling the story. Like whatever the narrative is. This is why you have to be very careful when you talk about, and even when you talk, learn how to be a good listener. That's just why, the first thing I teach young entrepreneurs, I say, listen, be coachable. Just listen to me. Before you talk so much, listen. Before you tell me what can happen, what's going to be impossible, what you got to be careful. Just listen first. Because many of you are your worst enemy. Many of you are the reason why you're in the situation you're in based off what you have created, the narrative, the story that you have repeatedly told yourself, not thinking about it. And some of you already understand manifestation. You understand how to meditate. You understand to think more positively. You understand the law of attraction, but yet you still at times use debilitating words or words that make you feel weak and words that don't align with the person that you're trying to be. Which is why I do the rants. Which is why I do a podcast, because it's a constant reminder that everything that you say out of your mouth, true or false, you're manifesting it. You're creating it. Whatever you repeatedly say over and over, how you feel, what you say and what you feel repeatedly is your life. Yeah. That's why they call it the paradigm shift, by the way. You know the word paradigm shift? Well, the reason why they use that word, because that's what, like when you say, oh, you need to shift your paradigm. Paradigm is just your thinking. And many of you need to shift your thinking, which means is, instead of thinking about what you don't want, I don't want to lose money, I don't want to get hurt, I don't want to feel pain, I don't want them to be mad at me, I don't want them to leave me, I don't want them. Think about what you do want. Just say, you know what? Tomorrow's going to go well. Tomorrow I'm going to get a brand new job. Or tomorrow my kid's going to listen to me. Tomorrow I'm going to make an A on my test. Tomorrow I'm going to make $200,000 today. Learn how to think about what you want, even when it comes to your fears. Maybe you have a job. So you know what? I have a job, but tomorrow I'm going to become an entrepreneur. I'm going to create a product, and I'm going to start selling it in the next week. Now, I get it. You might not have no answer or no solution on how that will happen. But the great thing about manifestation, the how doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Okay? And that's where a lot of you get stuck. Because you keep thinking about the how. Well, how? Well, how are we going to do this? How? My team. I remember when I told them that Monday, I said, we're going to make $100,000 a day. Well, how? But how are we going to do that? We don't have this. We don't have this. And then they'll tell them what we don't have. And now we're averaging $50,000 to $70,000 a day right now. Because the how doesn't matter, man. Like, it doesn't matter. I've proved it over and over again. How you're going to do something, it doesn't matter as much of knowing that you will do it. Do you not get that? You just got to know it's going to happen. And then you have to act like it is happening. Okay? You have to know it's going to happen. Whatever your desire, whatever your intention is, you have to know to the deepest part of your soul that it will happen. And now you have to act like it is happening. And that's based on your attitude. Like if you're getting everything that you want right now, are you going to have a bad or a good attitude? Of course, a good attitude. You have an extraordinary attitude. Like if your goal is to make $1 million and tomorrow morning you wake up with $1 million in your bank account, are you going to have a bad or a good attitude? You're going to have a great attitude. If you woke up tomorrow and you get exactly what you've always wanted, you're going to have a bad or a good attitude. You're going to have a good attitude. What I'm stating is have a great attitude now where you are. Does that make sense? Like imagine that every part of your life, financially, health-wise, romantic-wise, is working perfectly. Business-wise, everything is working like act that way. It doesn't mean that it is perfect, but act like it is. Come to work with a smile on your face. Be extra positive and like, oh my God, I have so much energy. Like make people think that your life is perfect when they see you. Make people feel that you are successful and rich because that's what you want, right? Everybody here wants to be successful and rich. Okay, well, act that way. Why act like a loser when you want to be successful? Or when you want to be a winner, why complain and whine and tell all these negative stories and talk about your doubts and your fears and what's not working and what's hard and what's difficult? We can talk about what is working. You can talk about what you're getting better at. Okay? Next question for me here. Why is your life black? Because it's a black, there's no lights on. That's obvious. But there you go. Look at my view. Bia, how are you? Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, Robert, how are you? Jessica, how are you? Carrie, how are you? Next question for me, folks. Yeah, it's always black. The reason why my screen is black is because the lights are off. That's why. And it's 1:00 in the morning. That's why it's black. And if you want to know, well, why don't you turn on the light? Well, why don't you become successful? Why don't you make more money? Why don't you quit your job and become an entrepreneur? Why can't you stop being lazy? So before I answer your question, answer mine. All right. Any more questions for me, folks? I need to get some work done before I go to bed here tonight. But thank you for joining me. Hit the like and share button and comment the word value below if you got any value, if you took some notes here. And I will suggest that you listen to this again. Just listen to it again, man. Just do it. Just, listen to it again just like you listen to your favorite song over and over again. Okay? That's, it's the goal to get this information embedded inside of your mind. So your actions and behavior will begin to change automatically based off the information that you've assimilated. Okay? So much love. Someone says, because there are so many many gurus out there eating out money. Eating your money? What are you talking about? First of all, no one forces anybody aside from a thief, no one forces you to give another person your credit card because whatever they share with you, you believed it. You know, when I hear people, oh, they're taking our money. No one's taking your money. You gave it. You gave the credit card number to them. You gave them the cash. The point is, take responsibility. All right? No one's taking your money. And it's not like you made a bad decision. Maybe you're just not willing to put in the work. Okay? You pay for something and you're just not willing to put in the work. And that's okay. Just be honest. Okay? All right, much love, folks. And let's go. I gotta go. Later.